with the Hospital Research Foundation Home Lottery.
The COVID vaccination rollout is being ramped up in our schools. 40 new vaccination hubs have been announced at primary schools across the metro area and regional SA. The first will be operational before the end of the month. Chief Health Officer Professor Nicola Spurrier says more 5 to 11-year-olds need to get the jab.
When you look at our children vaccine numbers, they are really lagging behind. And as a paediatrician, I want children to have as good a healthcare, if not better, than adults. So really pleased that the Education Minister and the government are bringing in this initiative to help families.
The number of daily COVID cases in SA remains steady. 3,392 infections have been recorded today. 248 people are in hospital, 7 in ICU, while another 2 people have died with the virus, both in their 70s. The trio who stole the Big Bird costume from Benithan Park last year won't spend time behind bars. The group, all aged in their 20s, have been sentenced to community service work. No convictions will be recorded, but the 3 have been handed 2-year good behaviour bonds. Opposition leader Anthony Albanese has made a quick exit from a pre-polling booth after he was heckled. Mr Albanese was campaigning in the seat of Pearce in Perth's north, which Labor is confident of snatching from the Liberals. As he was meeting voters and volunteers, he was confronted by protesters angry about vaccine mandates. The incident was captured by Sky News.
Are you going to put our workers back to work without mandate?
The Prime Minister says he wasn't going to risk a security pact with the US and UK by telling Labor about it early. The United States is expressing concern a bipartisan approach wasn't taken in the deal that will see Australia use nuclear submarines. Scott Morrison says he didn't break any agreements by keeping Labor in the dark until just before the announcement.
This was not something that I was going to be loose with, and I wasn't loose with it. When the opposition needed to be informed, then they were, just as other members of the government were informed at that time.
National Volunteer Week is celebrating the people who give back to their community. Over 11 million Australians dedicate their time to cause each year, and through floods, fires and COVID, volunteers have never been more crucial. Volunteering Australia Chief Executive Mark Pearce says we should acknowledge those who form the backbone of organisations across the country.
You know, volunteers invariably, they're not looking for a pat on the back and they're not looking for their names and lights, but it's a nice opportunity just to say thank you, acknowledge the contribution that volunteers make to our way of life in our community.
Now turning to 5AA Sport.
For Gold Service Audiology, book your free consult today at connecthearing.com.au.
The AFL has launched the Sir Doug Nicholls round, which will run across round 10 and 11. More than 70,000 people are expected at the Dreamtime clash between the Tigers and Essendon at the MCG on Saturday. Richmond's Maurice Rioli says it would be a dream come true if he's selected to play in the game.
Get to represent all your family from back home. And your culture, and hopefully if you kick a goal or something, you can do a little celebration of your dance or something. But yeah, it's a very big game. It means a lot for a lot of Indigenous players, even myself, if I get the chance to play in it.
It's on to the semi-finals for Adelaide United after their win over the Central Coast Mariners. They'll play Melbourne City at Coopers Stadium this Wednesday night before the second leg in Melbourne on Sunday. And world number 1 Novak Djokovic has beaten Stefanos Tsitsipas in the final of the Italian Open. Now checking 5AA traffic.
At Chain of Pines, burst water main there, North East Road near South Para Road. FIVEAA, another burst water main, Upper Sturt Road near Brolga Avenue, speeds reduced there. Firle, medium works today, Glenburn Road near Yongala Street, that's affecting both directions. And Tatachilla works causing delays in both directions, Main South Road near Malpas Road. Busy at the moment, the freeway, Old Kerry Gully Road Bridge 2 for Dunn, and we've got cameras Bradley Grove, Mitchell Park and Harvey Avenue at Netley. Tonight, Australia's favourite quiz show is back. It's the show that spins headlines into punchlines. Have you been paying attention? Returns 8:40 tonight on 10. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
Now the 5AA forecast, a shower or two this afternoon, 17, showers tomorrow 17, Wednesday showers 18 and Thursday partly cloudy, a top of 18. Right now it's 16 degrees. Now let's hear what's happening on 9 News Tonight.
Grief and shock over the 2 young lives lost in a single moment. Just how long will South Australian students be forced to wear masks? We ask for answers as campus COVID clinics are rolled out. Immature and foolish, a courtroom lucky break for the Big Bird bandits, and moves to have private health cover trips to the GP. I'm Brent Raglis. See the full story on 9 News tonight at 6.
$13.95, Adelaide's FIVEAA. This is Jade Robran. Pet Talk Back with Dr. Derek McNair.
Good afternoon, Dr. Derek McNair. How are you this Monday afternoon?
I'm very well, especially to that music they always play for me. It gets me going.
Feels like home.
Gets me all emotional.
I love it. We are going to kick things off straight away with a phone call. So we've got a couple of people calling through, and if you would like to ask Dr. Derek any question at all about your pet, you can call us 8223 0000, or you can flick us through a text message. The number is 0448 08 1395. And just a reminder that you can live stream the show now on your Facebook or YouTube channels. Let's talk to Darren. Hi, Darren.
Hello, how are you?
Really good. What would you like to talk to Dr. Derek about?
We've got two little white-haired terriers that we've had for 9-10 years now.
Yes.
And we have been feeding them dentist sticks in the morning for their teeth.
Yes.
I've found out recently that, and we were going to go with the green ones. What are they called? The gummy
greenies.
Greenies, yeah. and I found out recently that the better one to feed them with is called a bully stick.
Bully stick? That doesn't sound very nice.
I know we might not go into what those things are really, but yeah, they're all quite good. I mean they're all quite good. Yes, there's many things. If you want to get very enthusiastic, you can brush your dog's teeth.
Yes, yeah, my wife does that, Julie. Yeah.
Oh, well done.
Good on her.
Tell her well done. Yeah, not many people do. I don't, and it's probably me. You can get doggy toothpaste, but I never sell people doggy toothpaste because I think if you do, I'm never sure how many people use it. So I say go home, practice with some water, and if you're enthusiastic, come back and get the toothpaste. So brushing your teeth, well done, Julie. That's fabulous. Yeah, anything chewy, the dentist sticks, and there's quite a few different varieties of that type of thing, is all good for helping to clean teeth. Bones, I'm actually a big fan of bones. Need to be raw bones, need to be bigger than fits in the dog's mouth. I never say to give any small dog chicken necks because I've had a couple of dogs who've choked on them and sadly passed away. So they need to be irregular shaped bones, big bones, and that's good as well. Bully sticks or bully chews, all those sort of things are all fine as well. So they all help. You can also get stuff you add into the drinking water, you can get stuff you add into the food that all help to keep plaque off teeth and clean away plaque. So,
it was more the ingredients that was in the dentist sticks that came up to be an issue.
Yeah,
where they really...
Yeah, dentist sticks. If you give the right recommended amount every day, then they are meant to be absolutely fine. So they're actually made to be given daily. So just check with each one because there's so many different ones. The greenies, I'm talking about the greenies then, but there's various other dentist sticks that some of them have got different higher protein in them that you might not want to overdo to save the kidneys. So you really have to check. And all these things, you can either phone your vet or on the packet there should be an advice phone number as well. You can always phone the companies and ask them for their advice as well.
Thanks, Darren.
So what would you give your dog as a treat?
Bones. Or as a treat or to clean their teeth. To clean their teeth. I give my dog bones. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, she's a little dog, and I get bones from Central Market. I get them from a few other places, but there's really nice bones at Central Market that you can get, and raw, and they also freeze up very well as well. So you can buy a bucket load and put some in the freezer and then bring them out. And most dogs quite like them when they're frozen, and will chew them until they thaw.
Is there such thing as a doggy toothbrush?
Yes. You can get doggy toothbrush. You can just use human soft toothbrushes. You can also get what's called finger brushes, which are like thimbles, but they have little bristles on them. So, because some dogs are not happy at you coming at them with a stick.
Fair enough.
Whereas if you have a finger brush on, you put your finger in the mouth and rub it that way, a lot of dogs are more comfortable with that. As long as you're comfortable doing it as well, obviously.
As long as they don't bite your finger. I got a little Georgie story this morning. So he jumped into my bed this morning just to say hello. He did his little stretch. After he did his little stretch, he did a little vomit.
Lovely.
Just a tiny little one, bright yellow, and then ran down to the lounge room, got the ball in his mouth and was ready to play again. I thought, oh, thanks, champ. Just strip the bed now and wash everything. I have absolutely no idea why he did. Just a little morning chuck.
Yeah.
Thanks for that.
Oh, that's good.
Don't have to be concerned?
No.
He's acting normal after.
No. Dogs who throw up sort of generally even once a week.
He never throws
if they're happy, I'm not too bothered about them.
Okay.
So as long as they're happy, start keeping a diary, and hopefully it doesn't happen again. But if it seems to be happening a lot, then sometimes the time of day they have it, sometimes if it's related to eating, if they've eaten grass, stuff like that, all these sort of things you can try and work out what's causing it. But it's not uncommon for dogs to have the occasional little chuck.
He just jumped into the bed and went, oh, Mum, I think it's time you wash the sheets.
Good spot.
Yeah,
for I know. Why can't they just go onto the tiles or outside? I know. Yeah, that would be nice.
Let's talk to Liz. Hello, Liz. Welcome to the show.
Good afternoon. Just wanting to know how serious is a diagnosis of a duodenum ulcer in a dog that suffers from IBD and has just recently been diagnosed with pancreatitis.
Okay. How have they diagnosed the duodenal ulcer?
Ultrasound.
Okay. It's something to keep an eye on. If you've got inflammatory bowel disease, and has your dog got all these things at the moment?
Just 2 weeks ago, diagnosed with pancreatitis and has had IBD for about 3 years.
Okay. As a pancreatitis, has he got over the pancreatitis?
He's getting over it.
He's getting over it. Okay. Yes, but potentially it can be serious. It's extremely rare that they perforate, but it's possible. Is he getting things like carafate and antacids and stuff like that?
Yeah. Someone needs to redesign that carafate because he was taking it. For people who don't know, it's like a stick of chalk, a tiny stick of chalk, and you put it in a syringe and you mix it with a bit of water and you try and syringe it into the dog's mouth. So it's grainy, it's horrible tasting stuff, and he started spitting it out. He started running away from us when we wanted to pick him up. So I spoke to the vet and he just said, look, stop it because it's stressing him out too much. He is on Losec and he's still on Losec until he has the next ultrasound the week after next.
Yes. Yeah, look, it sounds like they're doing the right thing. How serious is it? It is something you just need to keep an eye on. Most of them will heal them.
The vet was concerned.
Right, okay. And that's why he's taking another ultrasound. So, yeah, you do need to do that to make sure it's actually obviously getting better and not getting worse. Sometimes very small amounts of carafate, some dogs will take mixed in with a little bit of food. If you go by the book, you're not meant to give it at the same time as food, but if that's the only way they'll take it, then that sometimes works as well. So,
okay.
Yeah, so the Losec obviously can help with the acid levels and stuff like that. So, yeah, just do as you're being told. It sounds like they're doing the right thing. Certainly you need follow-up ultrasounds to make sure it heals.
He's only a little chihuahua.
A little chihuahua.
A chihuahua,
A chihuahua. Oh, they're so cute, aren't they? I know, and some of them are so little and small. You think, oh dear,
with a big bark though.
Poor little thing. Yeah, you wouldn't need too much of carafate to get down, but I know if they don't want it, it's impossible. Yes.
Good luck, Liz. Let's have a chat with Roger. And if you've got a question for Dr. Derek, the number is 8223 0000. Hi, Roger.
Hello, Doctor. Just calling out regarding an issue called bloat. We lost our golden retriever to, I think it's called GDV or bloat about 2 weeks ago. And I was actually a little bit more surprised that the vet said it was more prevalent in larger dogs, and we weren't really sure whether it was diet related. Probably is, but yeah, just probably bouncing off your thoughts about this scenario that actually crept up on us really quickly,
yes.
very fast.
Yes, yeah, I'm very, very sorry, Roger. It's awful. It really is one of the few emergencies that we get. I mean, dogs getting hit by a car and some diseases, seizures and stuff, they can be emergencies. The GDV is certainly an emergency. It's, for everyone listening, GDV stands for gastric volvulus dilatation, but it's basically when the stomach blows up for some reason and fills with gas. And sometimes, if you're lucky, it just stays in that position. Mm-hmm. But it can, and it's what's called classically in barrel-chested dogs. So it is really in bigger dogs. So yes, your golden retrievers, German shepherds are super prone to it. Rottweilers, Dobermans. So they've got this sort of barrel shape. The stomach sits inside the back of the rib cage. So, and what happens is if it blows up with gas, then it can actually twist.
Oh, wow.
So actually it twists right round and it cuts off the blood vessels to the stomach. And unless you operate, usually within about 2 hours, they sadly, they cannot survive without surgery.
And will they let you know? Is it excruciating pain straight away?
Yes, it is painful. I mean, they actually sort of, their tummy goes almost like a drum. It goes really tight, and you can.
Oh, the poor thing.
And it's horrible.
And you don't know what causes it.
It classically, it's, and this is why I often say I like dogs being fed twice, at least, because they get two smaller meals. Classically, it's you don't feed one big meal and then take them for a walk or a run afterwards, and you don't feed them a big meal of dry food. A lot of people say to soak the dry food before with these dogs so that the food actually expands in the plate before it goes into the stomach. Because if you actually wet dry food, get some dog dry food, put it in a bowl, add some water, leave it for a couple of hours and come back, and you'll see. Yes, that it swells, and that's what happens in the dog's stomach. So you don't exercise dogs, especially these sort of types of dogs, immediately after eating, and that's sort of the big thing, and also to give them smaller meals as well. However, having said that, Roger, and I keep a record of this, the last 5 gastric torsions we've had have just happened. So it hasn't been associated with just having a meal. So in some cases, it seems to be tummy infection. They may have eaten something funny before, like 6 hours before or something, and that's altered the bugs in their tummy. So there's a classical cause, and often it's just extremely, extremely bad luck. I know in America, we don't do it over here with anything, but in America, routinely, especially with Weimaraners, they operate on them and actually stitch their stomach to the body wall to stop it twisting, and that's what we do when we operate. We untwist the stomach, then we actually stitch it to the body wall to stop it from twisting again. So some places do this prophylactically to stop it twisting, but in Australia we don't do that. Probably because it just doesn't happen enough. But when it happens, you sort of think, ooh, maybe we should.
Yeah, Roger.
Yeah. Funny enough, the surgery did do that. In an attempt to, they had to go in anyway, so they decided to do that. So they did perform that procedure, but sadly we just couldn't save him. So I didn't know whether it was something that people should be more aware of. I'm glad you commented on dry food and its expansion capabilities. That's probably an interesting one. We kept him on a simple diet, a bit of dry, a bit of wet, so a bit of both, and we thought we've done the right thing. So we're always questioning ourselves whether we did anything wrong or something different. But sounds like maybe we were unlucky.
Yeah, I think it is unlucky. And the other thing is not to change a diet too quickly either. But yeah, in my experience, it is just bad luck. I'm really sorry, Roger.
Roger, thank you for calling in. And we've got a couple of people that want to talk about this same topic. So we're going to take a short break. If you've got a question that you'd like to run past Dr. Derek, 8223 0000.
Before you vote, have a listen to Craig Kelly's policy speech at the United Australia Party launch. Catch it on Channel 7 Flicks this Tuesday, the 17th of May at 9 p.m. Authorised by Clive Palmer for the United Australia Party, Brisbane.
Hi, Crystal here from Southside Suzuki. If you're looking for a feature-packed, sleek and economical car under $20,000, then why not consider the brand new Suzuki Baleno? Starting from just $19,990 drive away, the Baleno is loaded with safety and tech, including sat-nav, reverse camera and Apple CarPlay. Plus, it comes with a 5-year warranty and cap price servicing. Book your test drive today at southsidesuzuki.com.au. Southside Suzuki. LVD 2009.
Our pets can be such a comfort, and to some of us, they are clearly part of the family. So show them you care and head into your local Cheap as Chips for amazing catalogue deals out this Wednesday. There are loads of great deals like the new water-resistant herringbone dog jacket, or check out the puffy dog jackets for only $15 each. Call into your nearest Cheap as Chips and grab a heavy-duty pet ramp for $89, or pick up a huge 150 pack of puppy training pads for only $40. Plus, check out the pet food hot buys like 400 grams Scooby snacks, only $4.99. 400 grams Sparky's pork oinkers for $5.99, and 1 kilo's Cat Pro dried cat food, a hot buy for only $3.99. So get your local Cheap as Chips for amazing catalogue deals out this Wednesday. Even pets live cheaper every day at Cheap as Chips.
Progress has been made to connect Australia's healthcare system. Now everyone can choose to get an electronic prescription, have a consultation with a doctor from home, and use My Health Record to view your COVID-19 dashboard, including boosters and test results. And there's more to come, connecting Australia to a healthier future and you to better healthcare. Find out more at digitalhealth.gov.au.
Authorised by the Australian Government, Canberra. Spoken by Dr. Andrew Rochford.
Dreaming of a new bathroom or kitchen? Get the best brands and the latest trends at Adelaide Bathroom and Kitchen Supplies. The ABK Supplies showroom has just been renovated to showcase new tapware ranges from ADP, Mia, Fienza, Nero, Phoenix and Abbey. With designs in gunmetal, brushed nickel, matte black and brushed gold and chrome, your kitchen and bathroom will be stylish and timeless. Browse the new displays at ABK, Adelaide Bathroom and Kitchen Supplies, Lower North East Road opposite Dernancourt Village.
Do you know how protective your face mask really is? Is it PPE Tech protected? PPE Tech manufactures tight-fitting P2 certified face masks. That means they're proven to filter more than 98% of particles. And better yet, they're made right here in Australia. Right now, get free delivery and save up to 40% off disposable P2 face masks. Don't settle for anything less than Australian-made PPE Tech P2 face masks. Order online at ppetech.com.au today. ppetech.com.au. Jade Robran on 1395, Adelaide's 5AA.
Good afternoon, it's 25 minutes past 3 o'clock. If you've got a question for Dr. Derek, better get in quickly because we're nearly wrapping things up. Let's talk to Jeanette in Sellex Beach. Wow, what's it like down there today?
Just kind of heavy cloud rain, but the sun's out now. So
beautiful. I love Sellex.
Dr. Derek, this last caller, this subject has haunted me for years. We had a beautiful Rhodesian Ridgeback. She was 6 years old, a healthy one day. 2 days later, she died. She'd had an anaesthetic for a minor thing. I can't even think what. She had a bucket on her head, and she started getting stressed late at night, just walking around the house. So I had to go down. It was a 3/4 of an hour drive down to Corner-Vansack Highway, South Road, to the emergency vet.
Yes, yes.
And they said that was what had happened. Her stomach had twisted or turned and she needed an operation. Yes. And I thought, well, I'm here now and she's, going to be operated and she'll be safe. And it was a terrible drive, long drive. And anyway, they rang me at 2 a.m. and said, look, it's fairly serious. We don't think we can save her. We can do the operation and it might not work and then we'll be back, her life won't, she'll be in pain for a few weeks, months. And so we had to have her put to sleep. But the day after the anaesthetic, I was eating a meat pie and I shared it with her. And I've always kind of blamed myself, thinking I shouldn't have given her that pie.
No, don't blame yourself. I gave my dog a bit of a meat pie before I came to FIVEAA. I had for my lunch today. So,
soon after the anaesthetic, that's what I thought. You know, it was too soon after her coming back from an anaesthetic.
No, I mean, it is. I mean, Rhodesian Ridgebacks, unfortunately, are a breed that is prone to it. But, I mean, we probably at the clinic, we do 5 general anaesthetics a day. So we do close to, and that's, you know, Monday to Friday. So we do 25 a week, let's say. And we probably get one bloat and torsion, you know, maybe every 6 months. So it's, if it was related to the anaesthetic, if it was related to your meat pie, we'd have about 10 of them coming in every day. Lots of dogs get meat pies, lots of dogs get anaesthetics. So don't feel guilty, Jeanette. Nothing to do with you at all. It really is one of these horrible bad luck things. So
it's human nature, though, isn't it? That you think back at your last 24, 48 hours, what could I have done differently? What did I do? Did I contribute to this?
Yes.
Oh, Jeanette, we hope that your mind is at peace now, that you had nothing to do with it.
Yeah, it's normal human nature, but nothing to do with you, Jeanette.
Let's talk to Eddie. Hi, Eddie.
Hi, guys. Dr. Turk, I had the same thing with my German Shepherd.
Oh, dear.
I felt I blame myself because I gave him a flap after a good training session.
Mm-hmm.
And, he was 5, and I had him doing, when he was 4 years old, he used to always hover around about 94, 92 points out of 100 in his obedience.
Mm-hmm.
And one judge said to me, you know what, this dog, if I said left turn, he was in his left turn. In the roundabout turn, he was in the roundabout turn. He knew every word.
Mm.
You know, he was like human. And even now I start to cry, I'm getting emotional now, but... a beautiful dog, but there's not enough information on big-chested dogs and what to feed them and how to feed them.
Yes.
I wasn't advised, Doctor.
No, and I think that's the big thing. Not, and it happens. And again, it wasn't anything you did, Eddie. It's you would if you wanted to try and create it, which no one does. You would just let. I mean, I've had Labradors who've discovered a full bag of dry food and have finished it off, and they've bloated up and they've been, you look like you have to tie a string to the leg because they're going to float away, but they still haven't twisted. So you can get the bloat without the twist. So
it was fortunate that they actually ended up clearing it.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's good.
Yeah. So he lasted another 2 years, and
okay.
The doctor said, look, it could happen now, even though you don't feed him, it would happen again. And that one day I came out and I heard the banging on the back fence, and he's coming towards me. His stomach just exploded, coming towards me. He's just enlarged. And they reckon there's that much pressure put on the heart. He's in so much pain. But, I had to have him put down. But such a beautiful dog, but more information should be out for big chested dogs.
Yes, and I think breeders should. I mean, anyone googling things should Google what conditions and diseases their breed is prone to. But I think breeders should. It's up to them as well to give out this information, and vets, obviously.
Well, today we've had several phone calls, and it's something that we've never really discussed before. So clearly it's out there, but not enough people know.
No, I mean, fortunately, it's not super common, but it is common enough. And the worrying thing is, it's so hideous and disgusting.
Oh, awful. Eddie, thank you for coming on the show and sharing your story. And Dr. Derek, if anyone would like to get in contact with you, they can at the clinic, which is on the parade.
On the parade, 27 the parade, 8363 5323.
Beautiful. You have a wonderful week.
You too, thank you.
Coming up afterwards, what is something unusual that you've found flushed down the toilet? Well, SA Water have released their 10 most bizarre things that they have found flushed down their toilets.
This is Adelaide's FIVEAA.
Good afternoon, I'm Michaela Kamarek. The state's COVID response has turned its attention to boosting kids' vaccination rates, with 40 new school hubs set to open. The so-called Big Bird bandits have been spared convictions for stealing and then returning the famous yellow costume. Opposition leader Anthony Albanese has made a quick exit from a pre-polling booth in Perth after he was heckled, and the AFL has launched the Sir Doug Nicholls round. A shower or two this afternoon, 17. Currently it's 16. More news at 4 o'clock and as it happens on 5AA.
Rowey's Sports Show.
Scotty Burns.
I think there was a bloke on this radio station that a few weeks ago was pumping up the LA Football Club a fair bit, Rowey. Was that you?
Oh, Burnsy, I got seduced, I got smashed, I've given myself an uppercut. I had you the best team out of the 8 in the 8.
4 p.m. weekdays.
Sometimes the clubs and the players have got to go back to the drawing board and work on a couple of things, freshen up, and we've certainly done that. So, yeah, we're really disappointed with those last few games.
Rowey's Sports Show on 5AA.
There's a hole in your budget, dear Labor, dear Labor.
Labor can't say how they'd pay for billions in extra spending. That means
More taxes are coming, more taxes with Labor.
it won't be easy under Albanese. Authorised by AHO's Liberal Canberra.
James Squire was many things. Londoner, highway robber, risk taker, rogue, lover, fighter, fugitive, convict, brewer, legend. He was many things, but he was never ordinary. James Squire, ordinary be damned.
Landlords, every day your rental property is vacant, it's costing you money.
If you're a landlord looking for a quality tenant, Toop & Toop's CEO of Property Management, Susanna Toop, can point you in the right direction.
Absolutely. We have just launched a new innovation for our clients. Toop & Toop landlords can now secure a tenant up to 2 months in advance and before their property becomes vacant. This new innovation allows landlords to tap into our extensive pre-screened tenant network. We know who is actively looking for rental properties across Adelaide, and we are giving our clients access to this valuable information.
So you can start looking for a quality tenant without incurring advertising costs?
That's right, it's the perfect way to find your next tenant, ahead of time. On average, we meet over 600 tenants at our open homes each month, and it's not only landlords that benefit, it's great for tenants too. Toop & Toop is giving tenants the opportunity to secure a home up to 2 months sooner and before they become publicly available.
To register, simply head to toop.com.au/rent.
Do you want fresh filtered water flowing through your home? Choose a system by Complete Home Filtration. Joining me from Complete Home Filtration is Suzanne Dodds, who incidentally won the Telstra 2022 Business Awards. So what's the benefits of filtered water, Suzanne?
Well, the benefits of filtering water for the whole home mean that you don't just enjoy filtered water for drinking, but for showering and bathing as well. So people see big differences in softer skin, softer hair, unlimited bottled water, quality water from every tap.
That sounds great. So where can we purchase one?
You can just jump online and go to completehomefiltration.com.au.
That's completehomefiltration.com.au.
Taste, feel, see the difference.
Hi, Nick Xenophon here. This election, you can vote differently. The green ballot paper is where you choose who forms government. The white ballot paper, where I'll be, is for the Senate, where I will stand up for South Australia because I give a damn. Vote 1 in Box O above the line on the white ballot paper to vote for me. Box O is just next to the Greens. Give me a go. Vote 1, Box O. Authorised by Nick Xenophon Paradise.
$13.95, Adelaide's 5AA. This is Jade Robran.
Good afternoon, and a big thank you for choosing to spend your afternoons here with us on 5AA on Afternoons with Jade Robran. A grieving daughter is taking her dead father's workplace to court over her dad's COVID-related death. Now, the father, Michael, 51, he died in October of last year, 2 weeks after contracting COVID-19. Joining us is the president of the Australian Bar Association, Matt Collins, QC. Thank you very much for your time. Good afternoon, Matt.
Good afternoon, Jade. It's a terrible situation, isn't it?
It is awful, and I fear that this is probably going to open a can of worms.
Well, it's an unusual situation. So under our workers' compensation laws right across Australia, a worker is entitled to be compensated where they fall ill or have an accident in the workplace.
Mm-hmm.
And where the person dies, then dependents, like a partner or children, are entitled to seek a form of workers' compensation as well. But with COVID, it's quite tricky because, first of all, you'd have to establish that you contracted COVID in the workplace. And secondly, and this is the case is in Victoria, but if it was in South Australia, you'd have to show that the employment was a significant contributing factor to contracting COVID. And that's a pretty difficult test, and it's not yet been tested in our courts.
What is the woman saying her father's business didn't do to better protect him?
Well, it's not a question of that, because in workers' compensation law, it doesn't really matter why you are injured or why you have the accident. The question is just, is there a connection? Did it happen in the workplace? And where it's a disease, like COVID, was the workplace or the employment a significant contributing cause to contracting the disease? Now, it's different if you want to seek compensation in common law by going to the courts and suing for damages. Then you'd have to show that the employer had not provided a safe workplace, it acted negligently, and it could be put by the employer that there were things that the employee should have done to protect themselves better. But here it seems to be just a claim under workers' compensation legislation, which doesn't give rise to those questions.
So how do you go about proving, all the above when the person has passed away?
Well, it obviously depends a bit on the circumstances. So you can imagine the high-risk circumstances, those high-risk settings that we learned a lot about over the last 2 years, hotel quarantine in Victoria or hospital settings. They're settings where you have a higher likelihood of coming across the virus than, say, a radio presenter at FIVEAA or a lawyer sitting in his chambers in Melbourne. So the high-risk setting would be an important part of it. But then, yes, the sorts of situations where you would be coming into contact more than the ordinary person with people who might have been infected with the virus.
Is she or is she not accusing the workplace of not making them wear masks?
Well, I think I've only read what I've seen in the newspapers today, and the matter's going to have to go to court, and we'll have to see how the matter plays out in court. But in a workers' compensation claim, the question is whether, in Victoria, the question is whether the nature of the employment gave rise to a significantly greater risk of him contracting the disease. So that'll be the factual inquiry that the court will have to look into.
So what kind of compensation could be granted in a case like this?
Well, in workers' compensation, it varies very substantially from state to state, but there are amounts which are prescribed by the workers' compensation legislation for death occurring as the result of an injury in the workplace, and then a proportion of that would be payable where a dependent child, for example, or a partner was entitled to compensation because of the death of their relative.
Is this the first case that you know of?
Well, there have been plenty of cases where workers' compensation has been paid to workers because they've contracted COVID in the workplace. But it's the first case that I'm aware of where a dependent, a child of someone who's died, has brought a claim for workers' compensation.
Do you think that this will, spark more cases, more people coming forward?
Look, it's hard to say, but the thing about COVID is, at the moment in this country, we've got something like 40 or 50,000 cases a day. So there's a vast number of people who are potentially affected by having contracted this dreadful virus in the workplace. So I suppose you can't rule it out.
Do you know whether it's been done overseas?
I don't. I'm sorry, Jade.
No, it's it's awful. It's an awful story. It's fascinating to watch. Matt Collins, thank you so much for your time.
Always a pleasure.
Thank you. Matt Collins, they're president of the Australian Bar Association. What are some crazy things that you've seen or that you've accidentally flushed down the toilet? Mine, well, I don't know, it's the old goldfish, isn't it? Isn't that terrible? But, I reckon I've flushed about 3 goldfish down the toilet and the kids, are devastated. But, you talk about Nemo. Well, he's just going down, into the ocean to be with his, his little mates and his family, and the poor thing's floating upside down. Is he still alive? Yes, kids, he hasn't died. The other thing is matchbox cars. Probably a few of those have gone down. Figurines. 1 or 2 have gone down to the toilet, but thankfully they're too big to actually flush down. So we were able to retrieve those. But what are some bizarre things that you have perhaps flushed down the toilet? Josh Zugayev from SA Water. He joins us on the line now. Josh, SA Water have released a list of the most weirdest, the most unusual items that have been found. Tell us, what are they?
A rubber chicken, Jade, would you believe? Can't believe that one.
Wow, one of those like long, stretchy, weird, squeaky things.
A comical device.
Okay.
Potentially someone's joke that went wrong. Who knows? False teeth as well. Someone lost their chompers. Credit cards. Lots of dog toys. Of course, the sign of the times is the mobile phone. And people killing a little bit of time on the toilet.
Or it's in your back pocket, and when you're pulling your pants down, it slipped
Falls
down
out.
there. Whoopsie daisy.
That's right. Most bizarrely, though, around a 250-metre length of rope made its way all the way to Bolivar. Very unusual. But lots of other things, bandages, golf balls, underwear, credit cards, lots of those kids' toys. And I think that's, you were sort of talking about those as examples as well. And I think we really need to give the benefit of doubt. You know, it's kids just being a little bit curious, not sort of knowing the rules, having a little bit of fun, wanting to see what happens. That kind of thing.
Oh, and let's be honest, it's water and they can reach it as well. And so, you know, Spider-Man needs to jump into his pool. And it's like, no, kids, it's disgusting. It's not nice.
That's right. So, you know, it all starts as a little bit of fun and games, but it actually has a more serious impact because, you know, things can get caught in your internal plumbing in your property and things can then build up behind it. So what I mean by that is if the figurine gets caught halfway down a pipe and then if you were incorrectly flushing wet wipes, for example, they would then get trapped behind it. And then again, as someone makes the next flush, you run the risk that it all comes back up. And that's incredibly unpleasant and no one wants to have to deal with that. So it's really important that we all remember and teach those around us to only be flushing the 3 Ps, which is poo, pee and toilet paper. And specifically toilet paper because it's manufactured very deliberately so that it breaks down quickly when it has contact with the water. So within about 30 seconds, toilet paper will disintegrate into small pieces or just a little slurry, whereas something like a tissue or kitchen towel, for example, you might see them actually marketed sometimes as being really strong. You know, they have to withhold the power of us blowing our nose through them.
Yeah,
true. You know, rinsed and reused in the kitchen. So they're designed to be really strong and they don't actually break down. So they can clog up pipes as much as those pesky wet wipes. So remember that wet wipes in particular must not be flushed. Sometimes they have been marketed in the past, so they're labelled as being flushable, but that's actually not correct.
Oh, that's a big one because in the past when I had babies, I did flush them because the knowledge wasn't around about that, 10, 15 years ago. But there is, huge evidence now. And is that because they line the pipe and all of us, after a few years, and that's many packets and they're so thick, all of a sudden you've got this huge blockage there?
Correct, that's right. And that can build up. And what will often happen is that fats and oils that do get put down sinks as well, and that can be just little incidental bits that we might send down the kitchen drain as we're cleaning up in the kitchen. But unfortunately, it can also be that some people, again, just might not know better and might actually tip, used cooking oil down the drain. And what happens is that will cool down in the pipes and in the water and congeal, and therefore it can stick to or get stuck behind a big wad of those wet wipes or any other sort of material that shouldn't be flushed, frankly. And it will create that blockage, and we call those fatbergs, and we do get them from time to time. And you might have seen pictures or stories of these giant ones in London sewers. We don't have them that big, but we do spend probably about $500,000 a year just in the Adelaide metro area, removing items from the sewerage network that shouldn't be there, that shouldn't have been flushed or put down the drain in the first place. And that ends up just getting carted to landfill. So it's really important that we avoid that happening because apart from having to remove it and go into that expense, it's really about avoiding the impact, which is something coming back up, and that could happen inside our homes, or if it happens on the street as well, then that can be potentially impacting the environment. So we need to keep sewage where it's meant to be, which is in the sewage network and on its way to one of our treatment plants.
And Josh, just say you are one of those people that's, flush the false teeth or dog toy or the rubber chicken, and you call SA Water, help, there's a disaster. Who's then liable for that bill? Because you're obviously at fault for flushing it down there.
So we'll typically come out and work out if it's something that's happened on our side of the network or your side of the network.
Mm-hmm.
So in essence, you can sort of judge on your property line in that way.
Yeah.
But our priority will just be making sure that our customers are looked after and that any mess is cleaned up so that the area is safe and healthy for people to be in. But if you need to then do some more work on clearing a blockage and it's within your side of the network, then you might need to call out the plumber that would come and clear that. But if it's on our side of the network, then we will take care of that.
Interesting. I love it. The rubber chicken. Dear, oh dear. Josh, thank you so much for joining the show.
A pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you. That is Josh Zugayev from SA Water. Is there something bizarre that you've found stuck down your pipes one day? I've got a couple of movie tickets to hand out if anyone wants to call in and tell us their story. Like I said, a couple of toys have made their way down there, but that's about as bad as it's got in my household. We are going to take a short break. Coming up afterwards, Rowey will join us to tell us what's on his sports show. And I don't know if any of you were catching a plane this morning out of Adelaide Airport, but there were huge delays. Thousands of people snaked, that's not really a word, is there? Weaving their way around the security entrance there, trying to get through security. Most of the flights were delayed. We've got a video that we're going to pop up on our socials. I fly a lot and I don't think I've ever seen the airport quite as manic as it was. So we're going to touch base with Brendan Cox, who is the Managing Director at Adelaide Airport, and find out if something did go wrong or whether this is the new norm that we've got to get used to. But if you were at Adelaide Airport this morning or know somebody who was and experienced the hold up, we'd love to hear from you. 8223 0000.
Join David and Will each Friday on the FIVEAA Breakfast Show as they speak to power excitement machine Orazio Fantasia.
Orazio!
Thanks to Rainwise Pools, family owns, building pools in SA for over 15 years. Google Rainwise Pools Adelaide.
There's a hole in your budget, dear Labor, dear Labor.
Labor can't say how they'd pay for billions in extra spending. That means
More taxes are coming, more taxes with Labor.
it won't be easy under Albanese. Authorised by AHOS Liberal Canberra.
Looking to build or renovate? Then talk to Rundle Blinds and Curtains to plan your window furnishings. Including your blinds and curtains in your designs means you can incorporate the latest in smart home technology and installation innovations, such as ceiling recessing and double tracking. Rundle Blinds and Curtains work closely with your builders and architect to make the process seamless for stunning results. Rundle Blinds and Curtains, Adelaide's premier window furnishings company. Book a consultation with our Kings Park team. Visit rundleblinds.com.au.
What makes Ray White the big name in business broking? They're people, like multi-time SA Business Broker of the Year, Brett Buckley, and his team of business professionals. They take a deep dive into your business, finding value and potential, and they know what they're looking for because they know businesses. They're not real estate salespeople trying to sell businesses, they're business people selling businesses. If you want to know what your business is worth, touch base with Brett. Search Ray White Business Sales SA. Multiple Business Broker of the Year awards.
Do you think a concert pianist needs a builder's licence? No. Does a chartered accountant need one?
Highly unlikely, Will.
Yes, but what about a house inspector?
Well, surely they need one.
No, unfortunately, there are no regulations in the industry that say you must be a builder to become a house inspector. Mike Pearl from House Inspect Australia is a third-generation licensed builder, and his team is the most qualified team in Australia for house inspections.
It's the biggest purchase decision of your life, so don't risk it. Go to houseinspectaustralia.com.au.
Let me tell you, nothing is going to stop the team at Wavell Mitsubishi from giving you incredible end of financial year deals. Enter via Goodwood Road and choose from the entire range today. It's game on at Wavell Mitsubishi, opposite the showground, driven by Australian Motors, LVD 80.
What makes Connect Hearing so special?
We really listen to you, so you get what you need, tailored to your lifestyle.
That's gold. And that's why we've been awarded gold from FIVEAA for our service. Try us at connecthearing.com.au.
There are some things in SA that are better off together, like the Popeye and the Torrens, Fritz and Sauce, the Mall's Balls. But if you're after the perfect pair, you can't go past your seniors card paired with a National Pharmacies membership. Your seniors card entitles you to an exclusive National Pharmacies membership offer, and you'll benefit with up to 70% off prescription medication, 20% off prescription glasses and sunnies, and much more. So talk to our friendly team at National Pharmacies and join the community that cares for yours.
There's a hole in your budget, dear Labor, dear Labor.
Labor can't say how they'd pay for billions in extra spending. That means
More taxes are coming, more taxes with Labor.
it won't be easy under Albanese. Authorised by AHO's Liberal Canberra.
Jade Robran on 1395, Adelaide's 5AA.
Good afternoon. It's 9 minutes to 4 o'clock. Coming up after 4 o'clock, it is Rowey's Sports Show, and Rowey joins us. What's happening on your world?
Well, a little bit of cricket's in morning and Australian sports in morning. We sadly lost Dean Jones, then we lost the great Rod Marsh, and then we lost the great Shane Warne. Well, now we've lost the great Andrew Simons, and it's just tragic when they're around our age and they die so suddenly and you don't get to say goodbye. So our thoughts with all the family in the cricketing world. It's just terrible news. We'll cover that. It's round 9, done and dusted. Demons 9 wins, no losses. They're top. North and West Coast 1 win and bottom. Our two teams are going to finish somewhere between the two. I don't know where, so we'll talk about that with Timmy G and Bix. He's got Jackson Hately on. So your calls, we love a Monday.
Game.
We'll see you after 4.
Thank you, Rowey. Appreciate it. And we are live streaming. You can watch the show on YouTube or Facebook, and that continues into Rowey's Sports Show straight after 4 o'clock. Sue has called in. Hi, Sue.
Hi.
What did you want to talk about, Sue?
Just about the guy from SA Water.
Yeah.
My daughter had a problem with plumbing and an overflow in her backyard from the bathroom and toilet and whatever. And she rang a plumber, and the plumber said, you're about the third person I've had from your area ring about an issue like this. So he said, give SA Water a ring. So she rang SA Water, and within an hour, they were out. And they said, look, if it's our side, we'll fix it. And if it's your side, we'll let you know, and you can call the plumber back. But they came, they said, right, it's our side. They came in, they flushed everything, they disinfected and cleaned up all of the mess out the back. They were absolutely wonderful. And they said, look, if you've got a blockage, ring us first.
Oh, wow. That's good.
Yeah, they were so good. But yeah, they as I said, they disinfected everything and cleaned everything, and yeah, they were really good.
Oh, that's wonderful, Sue. They'll be rapt to hear that. Stay on the line. Congratulations. You have won a Wallace Cinema Pass. You can catch a movie this week at Mitcham, Mount Barker or Noarlunga, and for sessions you can visit wallace.com.au. I had a similar situation to that, actually. It was branches and leaves from tree roots, and the water company were absolutely brilliant. So good to hear, Sue. Thank you for ringing in and sharing your story. Well, you were at Adelaide Airport this morning. I sent a video early this morning, and it looked like thousands of people lining up to get through security, and I travel a lot, and as I said before, I haven't seen anything like this. So, did something go wrong, or is this the new norm? Joining us is Brenton Cox, Managing Director at Adelaide Airport. Brenton, great to have you on the show. What happened this morning?
Oh, good afternoon. Yeah, it was very busy, and sorry for those people in that queue. We were meant to have 6 lanes open. We only had 5. We had a number of last-minute absentees, so this was really a people issue, and because Monday is traditionally a very busy morning, it is every week, and this week was no different. So, yeah, it was not what we planned for this morning. So, yeah, apologies again to those that experienced it.
So, one lane down can cause that type of chaos.
There was a 20-minute wait. So, yeah, there's lots of people. There always are lots of people that time of the morning, and it moved very quickly. But yeah, that whole lane, that meant that what would have been at that time often around a 10-minute wait went out to a 20-minute wait, and that looks like a lot of people. So it flows very quickly, but there can be a degree of anxiety for people when they're sitting outside the tents of hours, not quite sure how long it will take. Yeah, this morning it took up to 20 minutes in that peak time, and that isn't so bad on a global scale, but that's certainly not what we planned for this morning.
So there was a rumour doing the rounds that you were trialling a new security system. That's not true?
No, that's not true. So no, the security technology was set and has been set for some time. So no, it was just personnel.
Well, I'm really happy to hear that it's not the new norm.
Well, look, that said, we don't want this to be the new norm, but it is a bit of a challenging time for security globally across Australia, and we're not immune, so we still are recommending people get to flights earlier than they would have in the past. Unfortunately, what people often see is they get there and everything's fine. It's just these odd occasions when things aren't fine. We just don't want people worried about missing their flights. As it was this morning, we're not aware of any flights that were delayed because of this, but it's just that feeling of anxiety when you're in a long 20-minute queue.
Yeah, absolutely. It's not a nice feeling.
No, that's right.
Thank you, though.
No, thanks for covering that.
No, and thank you very much for coming on and being honest. It's better just to jump on the front foot and tell the truth, isn't it?
That's right, but we are trying to build it up. The good thing is there's a lot of hope in the industry now, and it's been quite challenging over the last few years, so it's easier to sort of attract good people when there's a future in the industry for them, and the future's looking pretty bright right now. So looking forward to rebuilding that team.
Brilliant. Well, thank you, Brenton Cox there, Managing Director at Adelaide Airport, just clarifying why there was those huge lines there at Adelaide Airport. That is the end of the show. Rowey Sports Show is up next. Have a fantastic afternoon. I'll catch you tomorrow.
Did you know that South Australian explorer John Horrocks was shot and killed by his own camel? His shotgun, still in the animal's pack, accidentally discharged as his camel moved to kneel down, mortally wounding poor John.